that unless something is done and done quickly, man as the dominant species of life on Earth will be extinct within a year.
Johnny, the International Criminal Court, they're suggesting they're going to put out arrest warrants for Benjamin Netanyahu and Israel in general. Yes, Johnny, that's right, for war crimes. Can he be arrested? Oh yes, they'll probably send in some commandos, they'll storm the Prime Minister's house, they'll drag him out by the hair and shuffle him off to some bloody prison, probably on some bloody desert island. That's bullshit, Johnny. Are you going to take this seriously? Well, Johnny, Israel, the US, Russia, China, what a bloody foursome, and a couple of others, they are signatories to the ICC bloody court. Right. Yeah, they didn't want to sign up way back in the day, 25 years ago or whatever, when this court was formalised, because those particular countries didn't want their own war crimes investigated. Well, yeah, and now you got bloody Benjamin coming out and saying that he's bloody, why the bloody court's there and why it should stand up for this and that, and he's not even part of it. All right, let's have a listen.
International bodies like the ICC arose in the wake of the Holocaust committed against the Jewish people. They were set up to prevent such horrors, to prevent future genocides. Yet now, the International Court is trying to put Israel in the dock.
Is that hypocrisy or not, Johnny? Yes, of course. So, Johnny, are you getting the impression that Israel thinks that everything, any criticism of them, is anti-Semitic? And he's continually calling any bloody criticism of what Israel's doing as anti-Semitic. That's bullshit, Johnny.
Netanyahu, and, you know, if any other foreign leader demanded that American college students' speech be suppressed, oh my God, we'd be up in arms. But we have Netanyahu demand that speech be suppressed in the United States, and it goes largely unremarked.
Protesters clashing with police at the University of Texas as officers move in, arresting dozens. At USC, nearly 100 demonstrators were taken into custody. As the protests spread to more college campuses across America, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu railed against the anti-Semitic and anti-American rioters.
Anti-Semitic mobs have taken over leading universities. They call for the annihilation of Israel. They attack Jewish students. They attack Jewish faculty. It has to be stopped. It has to be condemned, and condemned unequivocally. We've seen in history that anti-Semitic attacks were always preceded by vilification and slander. Lies that were cast against the Jewish people that are unbelievable, yet people believe them. And what is important now is for all of us who are interested and cherish our values and our civilization.
Oh, Jesus. Well.
To stand up together and to say enough is enough. We have to stop anti-Semitism because anti-Semitism is the canary in the coal mine. It always precedes larger conflagrations that engulf the entire world.
And it'd all be taken with a grain of salt, but this bloke comes out and says this is what should be happening in the US.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his minions often accuse their political opponents of being anti-Semites. According to Netanyahu and co., everyone from the Palestinian president to people who boycott Israel to British Labour Party leader Jeremy Corbyn to Israeli-American actress Natalie Portman. Yeah, Queen Amidala. They're all anti-Semites, apparently.
Now, Bernie Sanders, or Saunders or whatever he's called, Sanders I call him. Right. He's run for president a couple of times, and he hasn't been successful, obviously. Oh, Bernie. Good on you, Bernie. He's come out and bloody given it back to Netanyahu about why it's not anti-Semitic to bloody criticise Israel. Oh, Jesus.
No, Mr. Netanyahu, it is not anti-Semitic or pro-Hamas to point out that in a little over 6 months, your extremist government has killed 34,000 Palestinians and wounded more than 78,000, 70% of whom are women and children. It is not anti-Semitic to point out that your bombing has completely destroyed more than 221,000 housing units in Gaza, leaving more than 1 million people homeless, almost half the population.
Oh, Bernie. Good old Bernie.
It is not anti-Semitic to note that your government has obliterated Gaza's civilian infrastructure, electricity, water, and sewage. It is not anti-Semitic to realize that your government has annihilated Gaza's healthcare system, knocking 26 hospitals out of service and killing more than 400 healthcare workers.
We have to stop anti-Semitism.
It is not anti-Semitic to condemn your government's destruction of all of Gaza's 12 universities and 56 of its schools, with hundreds more damaged, leaving 625,000 students with no educational opportunities. It is not anti-Semitic to agree with virtually every humanitarian organization in saying that your government, in violation of American law, has unreasonably blocked humanitarian aid coming into Gaza, creating the conditions in which so many thousands of children face malnutrition and famine. Mr. Netanyahu, anti-Semitism is a vile and disgusting form of bigotry that has done unspeakable harm to many millions of people. But please, do not insult the intelligence of the American people by attempting to distract us from the immoral and illegal war policies of your extremist and racist government. Do not use anti-Semitism to deflect attention from the criminal indictment you are facing in the Israeli courts.
Holy shit. So there. You know, Israel strikes me a little bit as a long spoilt kid that's got used to getting its own way and not being pulled up by anybody for 80 years or whatever. They continue to take Palestinian land and build houses when they steal it. They build houses on it, and they continue to do that. And when the United Nations says, don't do that, you can't do that, Israel just ignores them. Oh, Jesus Christ. It's just amazing, really.
There's talk of warrants being issued against the Israeli Prime Minister and other senior officials. I mean, is that going to play out? And if it does, what does it mean for running the country in the middle of a war?
Well, Peter, you know what lawfare is. This is the international version of it. This is an out-of-control agency that has got no evidence, has asked no questions.
Your extremist government has killed 34,000 Palestinians and wounded more than 78,000.
It's not been fair to both sides.
This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org. I'm Amy Goodman with Juan Gonzalez. Prosecutors from the International Criminal Court have interviewed staff from Gaza's two biggest hospitals, according to Reuters, in what's being described as the first confirmation that ICC investigators are speaking to medics about possible war crimes committed by Israel in Gaza.
That has got no evidence, has asked no questions.
What is going to happen? So, it appears Israel's got to stop doing what it's doing. Just can't kill everybody. But Jesus, that's what it appears to be wanting to do. It just can't kill everybody or push them all out of bloody Gaza. And we'll just take over the whole of Israel. They can't do it.
The military won't be able to stop that thing.
Yeah. Well, they might do it because that's what they want to do, but they shouldn't be allowed.